had a litter of kittens that they were looking to rehome for free, and it worked out. So I am officially live on YouTube. Welcome everybody. Let me know in the chat that you can hear and see me before I get too in-depth with my weekly discussion. How are you guys? I am cold. I made sure to be bundled up like I previously stated. I do these in the basement and it's chilly. Hello Tom, how are you? I'm sure you've seen all my kitty cat spam all over Facebook. Yes, I am officially a cat mom of 3. It's so funny. I had like a little bit of baby fever, but that's totally gone because I have 2 kittens now, and not just 2 kittens. We also have a cat and dog, and so it's been a transition, a little bit more so than I was expecting, just because the kittens that we got, I don't think were around dogs before, and they are really hissing and afraid of our dog. So we are slowly working on getting them, you know, comfortable with each other, but that means we have to separate them when it comes to bedtime routine. And so our cat and dog that we've had for like almost 10 years, they sleep in our room with us, and so we just shut our door. That way I can sleep at night knowing nothing's going on that shouldn't be going on. So anyways, it's kind of like having a newborn, because then when my cat that's sleeping in the room with us claws at the door, I let her out, she goes down, uses a litter box, eats some. I know, I'm crazy, but yes, Tom, they are adorable. They are black, and I originally wanted 2 females, and when I went to get these kittens, they're only 6 weeks old, which is rather young. I think technically they should wait till they're 8 weeks, but the person I got them from is somebody that I trust, and she says that they're litter trained and they've been eating kitten chow with no issues. So, hello Stacy and Trisha. Thanks for joining me tonight. How are you guys? I'm just kind of briefing, well, I'll probably talk about them later, but I got 2 little kittens, Saturday. Yes, Saturday. And, it's a little bit more than I was expecting, just because like the transition with our pets, and not only that, but my 15-month-old daughter will just pick the cats up by their arm, their tail, you know, I have to watch closely. So I haven't got much work done. What about you guys? With the holidays coming up, it is December 10th, 2020, and yeah, I've got like maybe 40% of my shopping done. I'm going to do a lot of it tomorrow, actually in store. I'm sure you guys are well aware of the shipping delays across the country. I experienced it myself as a buyer, so I know Stacy, it's like, I feel like these kittens are like my newborn baby, you know, like where you take so many pictures and you're like, oh, I have to share them with everybody, and they're probably so annoyed, putting me, like blocking and unfollowing me, but that's okay. So I'm glad that I got 2 kittens and not 1, because they sleep together, they do everything together, and so at night they get all cozy and just sleep through the night, which is great. They don't bother me. Yes, dead pile still. Oh my gosh, so I haven't worn this hat this season, and it's wool. Yeah, it shrank in the wash. Can you guys see how tight that is? I'm gonna have to soak it in like some conditioner because it is tight. But I'm always wearing stockings and hats here because it's cold. But how was your guys' week? Let me know in the chat. Poshmark has been pretty much dead for me. It's hit or miss. And then my eBay store finally woke up, which I'll discuss here in a few minutes. Just seeing how you guys are all doing. Yes. So ThredUP. Go to my ThredUP playlist. I posted a new video 2 days ago of my sales over the last like 3 months, and they're actually starting to pick back up now that I'm not sending stuff in, but I did lower my prices to the point that I'm liquidating, like, so I'm getting $6 to like $15 unless it's a higher end piece. I think I did sell something that should give me a decent payout, but due to the high returns, I'm not posting any of my sales until I'm actually getting paid, because the rate of returns is very high, as I'm sure you guys are aware. The only way somebody can not return something, I think if it's final sale on ThredUP, which means you don't make any money, and the other one is purses. Purses are immediate payouts. So, yes, so for Poshmark, I have been selling on there for probably 2.5 years, and over the summer, I finally hired a virtual assistant to share my closet, I believe 3 times a week. It's definitely worth it. I have about 800 to 850 items listed in my Poshmark closet, and it was eating up my time. I wasn't sharing my closet daily like I should, and so I just pay a company or whoever to share my closet, get back my time, and I will continue. Even if I just break even, the relief and the time that it's saving me is completely worth it. My sales did really increase for the first probably month of using this VA, but I'm not listing like I was. As you guys know, I sold and put a lot of my time and energy into ThredUP. And then more so like this fall, I started listing, on my other platforms and trying to list strictly vintage items. They do have a higher payout, like I'm talking ThredUp. No, you typically, because it's more like one of a kind, you can get more with vintage. I try to stick to like dresses, cool jackets, and sweaters. They usually get you the most. I try to stay clear of like tops unless it's a really cool blouse. But yeah, let me know, how are your sales doing overall this Q4, which is like Q4 if you're not a reseller. Man, it's rough. I mean, I'm still making money, don't get me wrong, but it's not a regular Q4, and it seems to be like that with most resellers that sell used items. I am guessing sellers that are selling on Amazon, as I've seen some on Instagram, are killing it. Because, everyone's, almost everyone is doing online shopping. So, I typically give you guys my notes so I can stay on topic, and my life has been a little crazy, and I am just gonna wing it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in order from the last time I talked to you guys. So since last Thursday, what have we done? So last Saturday, my mom got me into thrifting. She's been a thrifter her whole life, so I learned a lot from her. I've hardly seen her during this whole COVID situation, even though we live 5 minutes from each other. But we're all trying to stay safe. And she called me up Saturday, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. What are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I was going to go to this thrift store, which is almost an hour away. And there's actually a couple thrift stores in this little town, and I hadn't been there in a long time. And I was like, you know what? I talked with my husband, and I went, and we had a great time. We wore our face masks in the car. You get used to it after a few minutes, right? And we had a good time. I found some good stuff. I made a video about it, of course, and posted it. It probably went up Sunday or Monday. But let me tell you, I went to one thrift store, which I'm not going to say. It's not like a chain thrift store, but I went there, and I went there probably 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And that's when I first started reselling, so I hardly knew anything. But I went there, and they actually had a section for vintage clothes. And as you guys know, I love vintage. And so if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a short video clip of the one rack of vintage and showed you the crazy cool patterns. And it's mainly 60s, 70s, which is my favorite era of clothes because I love the big, bright, bold, and the boho hippie. I love that. So I did pay up. I paid $10 for a jumpsuit, $12 for a 2-piece outfit, and then $15 for a 3-piece outfit. And I modeled those and had fun with that. I still have to do measurements, so I haven't gotten them listed quite yet, but I'll probably get them up over the weekend. and I made very well. I found really cool vintage linens. I found like a vintage Christian Dior blanket that I should get about $150 for, and I paid $3 for it. I found a 90s 101 Dalmatians Disney blanket with the fringe trim. Those were really popular in the 90s, and I can usually flip those fringe trim blankets if they're like made in the USA for about $50. And since this one is Disney, I should make $50 to $80, and I paid $3 for it. Vintage linens, guys. I know I keep saying I need to make a video, but I Google. Like, I don't feel like I'm an expert. I learn a lot from Katie and Vicky. You just look them up on YouTube. They're great resellers from Vegas. They have a weekly Sunday show. Learn a lot from them. But vintage linens, you can make really good money because they're typically under $10 a piece. I did pay $12 for this really cool handmade denim quilt. This thing weighs over 5 pounds. It's so heavy. And what's really cool is that they cut off like a patch from a pair of Disney bibs that has Winnie the Pooh on it. So, very cool. I think I can make probably $150 to $200 for that blanket. Or quilt, technically. Yes, definitely I need to make it a monthly trip because I feel like those smaller towns, if you do sell vintage or if you think about selling vintage, go to those small little mom and pop stores. You will, because, you know, that's where people in like the small towns send their stuff. That's where I have the best luck. Or not so much here, but if you're maybe in Florida or California or somewhere warmer where they're still having garage sales, go to those small little like redneck towns is what I call them, which I'm pretty much a redneck myself. But yes, I have the best luck there. But I'm going to answer a few questions from the chat. I know, you know, when COVID is over, I definitely want to go to like by New Orleans, and my husband and I are trying to plan a 10-year anniversary trip I previously discussed, and we haven't picked a place yet. We're going to wait and see how the pandemic is like around the country before we make any solid plans. My sales on ThredUP have picked up, but like I said, I did lower my prices. So I'm not maxing my price. Obviously, now they've done the new fee structure, and so I sent 2 kits last week of items that don't necessarily have a great resale value that I would sell myself, or something that sells a lot better on ThredUp. So if I could make the same amount selling it myself versus sending it into ThredUp, like White House Black Market, BCBG Max Azria, Theory has a pretty poor, in my opinion, resale value if you try to sell it yourself, but it's decent on ThredUp. So I'm going to try it a few times on ThredUp. I'm not paying for expedited processing, but I am going to pay for return assurance. I'm going to see how it goes. I've been watching other YouTube videos because I'm kind of anxious for people who are paying for expedited processing, how it's going, if they're getting the prompt. And let me tell you, I have not seen on Instagram, or nobody has like seen this prompt when you are adjusting your prices when your kit is processed, saying you'll be charged a $5.99 fee when you go to reclaim if this does not sell because you raised above 50% of ThredUp's initial pricing. Okay, let me see. There's another question I saw in here before I go much more into ThredUp tonight. Trying to sell to... Yes, okay, so Ellie, are you having luck with local consignment stores? Because actually, before I was a reseller and I worked at Goodwill, I bought tons of clothes for myself, and then I would take my old clothes. So every like month or couple months, I was taking my clothes to the consignment store, and I was making probably like $80, but that was pretty significant because it was about 15 years ago. And but here in Illinois, people aren't really going out, and I don't even know that the consignment stores are open. The last time I drove by, they were closed. So unfortunately, I don't think that will work for me now, but it may work for me later. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the jumpsuit, you know, I'm going to price it high because if I have somewhere to wear it, maybe in the spring, I'll wear it. Okay, Catherine, taxes. Okay, so obviously I'm no expert, you know, I'm not a CPA. And I was super nervous about taxes, and obviously you keep everything to document, like receipts, and I just use a Google spreadsheet. I can't remember where I got the actual link for all the equations for the fees, and so it automatically takes all the extra fees out and stuff. And then we got a CPA, because my husband and I filed jointly. We got a CPA for the first 2 years that I was reseller, and you kind of get the gist if you look at your previous like taxes, each bracket, like what they did. And so last year we actually did the taxes ourselves, and it was fairly simple, but I would probably recommend always going to a CPA. And I live in Central Illinois, and we had a really good one. We went to Peoria to have ours done. Peace of mind, peace of mind. And you do want to keep all of your paperwork. You can be audited. You want to keep it up to like 7 years, I believe. Okay, so let's see the other one. Vintage pieces, okay. Chico's, yeah. So Stacy, Chico's, it's crazy. The mature brands did sell, I would say, the best for me when you could mark them up. However, Chico's is probably a borderline. I would stick with jackets, dresses, and sweaters. And maybe pants, but here's the thing, guys. And I've discussed this with Dara Lynn, which is the Purple Boutique Outlet. She has given me lots of inside, I don't know, tips and stuff for currently processing kits at ThredUP, because she is very brave and still sending stuff to them, and it's processing. So if you still want to make money on ThredUP, like from their huge change from November 9th, you need to buy low. Like I'm talking $1 or from your local bins. So if you can get an item for like $1, and obviously if it's designer, you can pay up a little bit, but I wouldn't pay up much. And you can still make like $8 to 20 or 25 if it's, you know, a couple $100 retail. And I guess I can show it on my phone. So it was very confusing, the change. You know how they like discussed the percentages, and people are like, wait, is it retail? Is it ThredUp's pricing? And it is ThredUp's pricing. And so what you will do, and I think I might have discussed this before, but I'll see. And the problem is my phone is, or my streaming is like 20 seconds delayed, so I don't know if it's going to focus to show you guys. But this is what you do. Okay, so for example, when you get your kit processed and you go to raise your prices, ThredUp has told people that there will be a prompt, like a box that pops up and says, hey, you're going to go over 50% of ThredUp's pricing, you will incur a $5.99 fee. But I have not, nobody has shared that with me. So if you guys have gotten that prompt, please message me on Instagram, Thrifting is my beach. I would love to know, because I am still kind of nervous to send to them, even though I did send 2 boxes last week. But they're regular processing, so who knows when they'll get actually processed. So what you do is, when you go to adjust your prices, unless you're like a mathematician, this is, okay, so pull up the calculator on your phone, and so for instance, if they are pricing something at $12.99, hopefully it's not focusing on my face. Okay, so they priced it at $12.99. So what you are going to do is you are going to multiply that by, and there's a couple ways you can do this, but this is how I'm doing it. You multiply it by 0.5, which is, oh yeah, see, my ring light's too bright, you can't see it. Bummer. Okay, so you multiply the price of ThredUp, so $12.99. You multiply it by 50%, which you change that to a decimal point, would be 0.5, and that gives you 6.495, and you always want to round down. You don't want to go over that 50%. So $6.49 is what you can add to the initial price of $12.99. So you're going to take $12.99 plus $6.49, and you can mark your price at $19.48 without getting this, additional $5.99 charge. So again, I'll do one more. Okay, so ThredUP prices something initially for $29.99. Obviously half of that is $15, but I'm gonna do exact change for you guys. Okay, so multiply it by 0.5 and it's $14.99. So then $29.99 plus $14.99, and it will be $44.98. So you'll have to be very precise. You don't want to go 99 because technically that is just a smidge over the 50%. So $44.98 is what you would be able to raise your price to. And that would still give you a payout of, I think, around $10. Anything, if you can get a price raise to like over 40 bucks, I would say it would be worth it if you can get it for around $1. So check out those mom and pop thrift stores that have their sales. Just pick up the phone and call a thrift store and say, hey, are you having any weekly or monthly sales? And they will gladly tell you, because there's a couple places in Iowa that have dollar sales, which is great because I found like Veronica Beard, Rack and Bone, and then Central Illinois and Northern Illinois have $1.50 days, where the last Tuesday of every month is all the clothes are $1.50, and if they are marked up, then it's half off of that price. So always call before you go, because somebody in Northern Illinois told me that they were not having, their local Goodwill was not having their sale currently. So you may always want to check. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have for you for ThredUP. Email list, great idea. Yes, you always, because some, not mine unfortunately, but like I know Central Arizona, they email you like a monthly coupon. I always used to be so excited when I would receive mine. So yes, email list is a great idea. Okay, yeah, there's fortunately no Buffalo Exchange where I live here in Illinois. How do you know that? Did I miss something? How do you know that? Ellie, what do you... Nope. Okay, I think I'm lost in the conversation. So, something else. I was running late here right before my live. My husband let my dog outside. We don't have a fenced-in backyard, but we live on the very edge of town, and so normally she'll like do her business in my yard and come right back, and we have a big lot. And she ran off. She was gone for like 5 minutes. So I was outside too with my husband, like calling for her, because we live on the edge of town and there's a cornfield, and there are coyotes, and so we just wanted to make sure that she was safe. So she did come back, so I had to scurry and like scurry, wow, and set up my ring light, and oh, they text. That's even better. Yeah. Okay, so another thing that's kind of threw me a curveball, like I previously said about the kittens and like getting up in the middle of the night, I'm getting up about every 2 hours. I did it for about 4 days straight and I was exhausted. So last night, I finally slept the whole night. For Buffalo Exchange, you can request a bag like ThredUP. Really? Oh my gosh, are you serious? I'm going to have to do more research. You can request, okay. And they pay through PayPal. That's awesome. Ellie, I can't remember. Are you from Illinois? Somebody I talked with a lot. No, Catherine, I think you're from Illinois. From last week. And then I used to actually work, and my last, by the way, completely random. Can you tell I didn't take my medicine today? I used to work at Central Arizona Goodwill in Phoenix, and then I spent most of my time when I did work at Goodwill here in Central Illinois. But the one in Central Arizona, and this was like 10 years ago, so they may not do it now, but I think they still do. Every other Saturday, everything in the store is half off. And the lines, well, people line up, you know, like probably 45 minutes before the store opens. And then you hurry and grab a cart if you're lucky. And the lines to check out are like 20 people deep, and all the lanes are open. And it was crazy. And I actually have this completely weird, not weird, but story to tell you about when I worked at Phoenix Goodwill. Now, I grew up small town and kind of like sheltered almost, right, in central Illinois. And then my husband and I got married, and he had a job opportunity to be transferred to Phoenix, Arizona. And at the time, I was having a hard time at my job, so we thought it would be the perfect opportunity. So we moved a week after getting married to right outside Phoenix, Arizona. We moved to Avondale, which is on the West Valley. And it's like, they're all connected. But let me tell you, it was kind of a cultural shock. Going from like rural to like this, you know, to Phoenix. I loved it there. It was gorgeous. But so I tried getting a job with my college degree, and wasn't finding any luck. So I went to Goodwill, and they're like, you know, you're overqualified. Like, why are you here? I'm like, well, you know, I can't find a job. And I was like, you know, I love the thrift stores, so I worked there, and I had an amazing boss. I actually used to babysit his kids, great family. And so I was working the jewelry counter during this, like, everything half off sale on Saturday. And I was holding, like, a tray of watches, because the rule was you can only have one tray out at a time. That way people are, you know, just trying to steal, because stealing is, you know, a thing. And this dude just like grabbed the whole tray of watches out of my hand, runs out of the Goodwill, and you know, it's kind of a commotion, so the store manager saw it, and he grabs his belt loops on his pants so they're not falling out, and like runs after him. And I don't think they caught the guy, but it kind of shook me up. It was like, I don't know. It was something. But last week I never talked to you guys about working for Goodwill. I completely got sidetracked with everything else. So let me know in the comments. I should probably just make a separate video about it, because like it probably was, so I worked at Goodwill for like 3 or 4 separate times, because I kept coming back because I loved it so much. Probably worked for about 8 years. Most of the time here in Illinois, but I did work about a year out in Arizona. You don't know the pay, like the percentage for consignment for Buffalo Exchange. That pays 30% of what they're going to sell it for. So Ellie, they pay you up front or as it sells. Oh, Catherine, I wish we had a Savers. I loved going to Savers in Arizona. The thrifting in Phoenix, amazing. Before my husband and I had kids, we went back to Arizona for like a vacation trip, or maybe he had to go work there for a couple days. And I went thrifting like every single day. It is amazing. I mean, it's a city, so they had tons of thrift stores. And you know what's funny is my manager had actually told me, hey, you know, there's an outlet for the Goodwill where you pay by the pound. And if I'm not mistaken, now this was 10 years ago, it was 69 cents a pound. 69 cents. Now, I know it's not that now, but so before I even knew like what reselling was, he had told me about it, and I never went. Like, what's wrong with me? I think because it was in actual Phoenix, and I was a little nervous. Traffic is crazy there. It's insane. Like, I mean, I think it's worse than Chicago. Not in city Chicago, but like highway. And like, I didn't know what an HOV lane was, guys, till I moved out there. It's real. And they don't do construction during the day. So in Illinois, you know, they do construction during the spring and fall months, because it freezes during the winter and it gets too cold. But in Arizona, it gets so hot that they work at night, like third shift. It's a great idea, obviously, for their climate, but yeah. So Buffalo Exchange, maybe something to look into accordingly. Sent one bag. Oh, you didn't get much. Send good brands to get a good payout. Well, hey, if you want to liquidate and you're completely done with ThredUP, Buffalo Exchange may be something you want to look into. Really, 30% cash. Man, I wish we had one for 50% in-store shopping. Thank you, Ellie, for sharing the information, and Darylyn for sharing your experience. That's what I like about doing lives, is that you guys can interact with each other and we all learn. Like, this is what I want it to be, like us all learning and growing together. That's why I love this reselling community, because everybody is so willing and open and honest about their tips and tricks and even like screw ups. So I'll tell you, I think last week I mentioned that somebody had purchased something off of eBay from me for about $10 and I could not find the item, and I thought I found it, but I sent the wrong item. And the person handled it very well. They were very polite. And so I just gave them a full refund. I was like, just keep they're like a pair of Nike pants. I was like, just keep those, even though they're the wrong size. It's like, just give them to somebody, you know, keep them. I'm so sorry. And she left me positive feedback. So today I get something in the mail, and on the label, it says eBay return. I'm like, I don't have an eBay return. Like, what is this? This person was so gracious that they paid money out of their own pocket. They paid like $8.50, and they had these pants that I sent by mistake. They shipped them back to me. So they pretty much paid to I'm like, and they didn't even tell me they're going to do that. I like told them 2 times. I was like, keep the pants, keep the pants. And they were just very, very nice. So I sent her a message today because, of course, 2 days after I canceled her transaction, I found those pants and I was like, should I reach out to her? Should I not? And I was like, no, that just, you know, I don't want to risk it. And so now I'm going to ship them to her for free since she shipped my other pants back. So that was very nice. I love it when I get great customers. I keep waiting for, especially this time of year, for me to get like a Karen customer. You all know that. You see it on social media, all these women freaking out. Especially around holiday time. But, what else? Oh, also something, I'm kind of preparing myself. So, you know, I went a few nights without getting sleep because we've had these kittens and it's been a transition. But also, my daughter, which is 15 months, she doesn't necessarily sleep through the night like all the time. Like, she'll usually wake up once and she still takes a bottle. And the last, 3 days, she has been sick with something. She had a very low-grade fever. I wouldn't really call it a fever. It was like 99 something, but she was warm and very fussy. Just wanted to be on me. One night, she was up a couple hours during the night. My husband and I took turns. Like, we could not get her to sleep. And she's had tummy problems. And so I didn't know if it was because she had shots. But she was okay for the first couple days after she had her shot. And so she won't keep a face mask on. She's only 15 months old, and so if you're under the age of 2, they don't require you to wear a mask when you go indoors. So she went to the doctor's office with no mask, and there were other people there. Now, they were wearing face masks, but like, we shared an elevator with people, and so I don't know if she caught a bug, because if you think about it, her immune system probably isn't the best right now, because we have been home for ever. Like, you know what I mean? And so I'm hoping she just caught a bug, but my 6-year-old son goes to school half days, 4 days a week, and he came home today, and he said he had a stomach ache. He didn't want to eat lunch, which normally he's starved, and he has a temperature of like 100.4 or 0.5, and he ate some crackers earlier, and then he took a couple bites of dinner. And we've just been keeping him hydrated. So he'll probably need to get tested for COVID, because we've been associated with people that just tested positive. So it's going around pretty bad here. It's pretty bad. And so my son, he's gonna sleep with us tonight because I worry, and I want to make sure that he's okay. So I have a feeling this next week's going to be rough. And then we have the holidays coming up, so I hope everyone is healthy, you know, for the holidays. Are you guys traveling or doing Christmas? I know it's kind of up in the air for everybody, and some areas aren't really that bad with COVID, but here in Central Illinois, it's pretty bad. But, so I did a What Sold Wednesday video. I think I just uploaded it yesterday? Or was it this morning? Oh, I can't remember, guys. But, so eBay is the number one, like, I make the most money there most of the time. But for the last 2 months, it's kind of been dead. I'll, you know, have some good sales. Like, I'll make, like, the things that I'm selling are selling for more money. But it's less sales. And I started doing promoted listings probably 3 weeks ago, and it's great. Like, totally worth it. And then I went on the other day and looked, and I have always been like above standard seller. I don't offer free shipping. I don't do 1-day shipping just for my business model. I don't really care to have top rated seller status. You know, I don't want to do free returns. So I've always been like above standard, and I'm actually, if they rated me now, they said that I would be top rated or top seller or whatever, top rated seller or something like that. So as long as I don't have any big screw ups, at the end of December, I think you're reevaluated. And so that means that when you're a top rated seller on eBay, you receive, I guess, higher discounts for shipping, which I already received discounts, but whatever. Apparently I'll save more money, and my, listings will be bumped up in the search ranks, which it should already be if they are promoted. But, anyways, so eBay was like on fire for me for a period of like about 24 hours. I had, was like 10 sales, and I typically only have like a couple sales a day on eBay recently. So that was great. When you look at like your monthly, they compare your month to the previous month and stuff, and then the previous year. And I had been red, like in the red, and now I'm up by like 10%. So that's a relief. Like I said, I've been transitioning to like more vintage and a lot of holiday stuff. And I've been selling things pretty decent. I was going back through my old like Google Photos, which is, I guess, if you're an Apple user, like your cloud. And I was going it through, and I have sold almost everything that I have listed. So I have a really good sell-through rate with my vintage and vintage hard goods. And that's something that I used to not be able to say. Probably my first 2 years of reselling, my sell-through rate was pretty low. But I think I finally found like my niche. You know, like you find something that you're good at. I think I finally found it. Yeah, Ellie, oh my goodness. Burr. Yeah, so the school says that they'll, notify you, like, because, you know, our son goes to school, but, we have been notified that there have been, like, a couple positive cases at his school, and, like, in his building, like, 2 within the last week, and he does ride the bus. And so I don't think that they would notify us if it was somebody on the bus, unless he was within 6 feet. I'm not sure what the parameters are for the health department, and I'm sure it varies from each state, but I think we may have been in contact with it some other way. So, and my son, when he gets sick, he gets like really sick, especially every winter. He was like 18 months old, and he got croup, which if you guys don't know what croup cough, it's like a cough, and it can be quite serious. It's like a wet cough, and ever since he had it when he was 18 months old, he gets it every year, and so he just has a hard time when he gets sick. And so I was kind of nervous this season, you know, with him going to school and stuff, and he's not coughing right now, but I just feel so bad for him. Don't you feel bad when your kids get sick? Like, because you can't make them better. Like, it just, so, anyways, we were all, well, my husband and I were going to have, like, a little date tomorrow and go shopping, finish Christmas shopping for our kids tomorrow, but that got postponed, since our kids aren't feeling well. We don't want to take them anywhere, and spread germs, but yes, sweet people are amazing. There needs to be more of them, but I do appreciate, and I actually have not had, I've seen people post recently like about having negative experiences as a seller on eBay, and I will tell you, I do not. I've been selling there for 4 years. There have been a few disputes on PayPal, like where people charge back, and so I would lose out like on $20 or something like that. But most of the items I sell are under $100. Now, if I sell something for over $100, I'll pay $2.50 to get the delivery confirmation, and that way that person can't argue that it was not delivered to them. Kind of just saves your butt. And then people saying that they were getting scammed. That is really sad, but I don't want you guys to be discouraged if you don't sell on eBay. I felt something rubbing my leg. Kitty, kitty. Come here. Oh, look who came to join us. No kitty cat. Hi, baby. Ooh. What's wrong? So, can you say hello? I never finished my story earlier. You know, I was wanting 2 female kittens, and so I had to Google it because the kittens are only 6 weeks old, and it's hard to tell male from female. And so yeah, doesn't that look so pleasant? I'm like holding her like, but she was a little feisty. Is this? I can't tell. So we got a boy and a girl. All the, oh crap, what'd you do? Sorry guys, my cat jumped on the keyboard. Let me know if you guys can hear and see me. I'm so sorry. My cat jumped on the keyboard and it like refreshed my window. Anyways, there was only 1 female cat left out of the litter, and there was like 6 males, and I didn't want to take just 1 kitten, you know. I felt the transition would be much better if I had 2, and so I took a boy, and the boy has actually been like more like cuddlier, so, but anyways, I don't want them jumping on the keyboard again. Okay, thanks. So of course, you know, like they like to snuggle and lay on me and sleep, and it just makes me want to lay there and not work. What did my cat do now? Guys, seriously, the screen just went black for like 10 seconds and I freaked out. I think I'm gonna actually put the keyboard up so it can't disturb my live. Hopefully. Sorry guys. All distracted. So yeah, I mean, between just the cats and my kids, I haven't got much work done. I don't remember what I was talking about. My kids being sick. Yeah, I thought my son, well, obviously he wears a face mask and he's very good about following rules. You know, he's been home since COVID started, and I thought he would get sick like immediately, but obviously the face masks, oh my gosh guys, these cats are like destroying, they're playing with cords, and my ring light's probably gonna fall down, and they have destroyed my Christmas tree. They keep knocking the ornaments off. The lights don't work now because they climb up in the tree, and who knows if they chew through cord. It's a mess, but okay, I will tell you my recent sales on, most of them have been from eBay. Let's see. It blows my mind. And quite a bit of it has been like Christmas decor. So today I just sold a sterling silver necklace for $25. I got it, where did I get it at? I got it for 50 cents at a garage sale, and it was tarnished, and all I did was go buy silver tarnish remover, and it cleaned up, like it almost looks brand new. And I know a little bit about jewelry. I do like to resell it, and it doesn't take up much space to store. I would like to get more into it, but anyways, it sold for $25. And then the brand APC, I actually recently remembered somebody talking about it on a haul, and I found a vintage like 90s men's APC wool sweater, and I paid $2 for it, and it sold for $55. And it sold within like a few days of me listing it, so pretty cool. And then something else that surprised me was like a Michael by Michael Kors purse I got for $1, sold for $75. And then a cool celestial blanket I got like a month ago, it sold for $60. I sold some Ray-Ban sunglasses for $60 earlier this week. I got them in a baggie for $4. There was like 6 pairs of sunglasses, and I saw the Ray-Bans and I was like, those have to be fake. But I did research and they're legit. Unfortunately, they were the only pair in the bag I could resell, but $4 to $60 is okay by me. So yeah, quite a bit's Christmas. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. I posted about this in my stories. So I, like probably 2 months ago, I got a Disney collage picture frame, like from the actual Disney store. And it was like our Disney vacation. It was a really nice picture frame. It had been used, so there were a few like little scuffs. I paid $5 for it. Didn't even think anything about it because it was like 16 by 16. You know, it was a decent size. I didn't think about shipping it, right? Oh my gosh, guys. I was like cursing so bad trying to package it. Trying to ship a picture frame, like a large picture frame, never again. Like, unless I can get $200 for it. It took me 45 minutes because I wrapped it and then I like put cardboard around it, and then I put the cardboard in a box and I packaged the poop out of it. And it was a whole $30. Like, what was I thinking? I thought I could get more for it. My hair is like disgusting, but my head itches from that wool, so sorry. So I know it's attractive. Oh, and I sold a pair of Doc Marten boots last week for $150, and I got them for I think $9. They're like these cute fold down plaid ones, Doc Martens. I love selling. They're probably my #1 shoe to sell. So anyways, yeah, eBay is like bae. I always say that. Burr, burr, and burr. I'm getting so cold. I try to be completely real with you guys. My house is probably the messiest it's been in, like, I can't remember. First of all, we're not having company over, and that's usually when we, like, deep clean our house. Second of all, I'm trying to do Christmas. I'm trying to do so much, and then our kids and the cats, and like there's no counter space. Like tonight I was trying to make dinner for the kids or whatever, and I was like, I have nowhere to set the plate. It is so bad. Like, I just need it, and it's so hard for me not to work, but it's like I need to take just 2 days off and not list, not worry about anything, and just focus on cleaning because my husband's going to be working from home, I think, the next week, and so I'll definitely have more time. Thank goodness. I know, and you know what? I tried the Ray-Bans on, but I wear glasses most of the time. I really need to go to the eye doctor and get new contacts because the contacts I had that I was wearing were trial, and they scratched my eyeball, so. Shredded paper plus bubble wrap, yeah. I have sold like a signed Pets, like the musical Pets, or no, Pets, wow. The musical Cats. I found a signed poster from the late 80s when I lived in Arizona. Now this was before I was a reseller, but I figured it was worth some money. And probably 7 years ago, I sold it online for like $25. I don't know what I was thinking. And you know, I didn't know how to ship, and of course it arrived to the buyer shattered. And so I was out all that time shipping it and the money, which, you know, they probably got a deal. But I did try flipping for probably like a whole 2 months, and I wasn't at the right stage of my life. You know, like, you have to have discipline for this job, no doubt. So shredded paper. You know what? I try not to use I obviously use bubble wrap for glass, but it's so expensive. Let me know, where do you guys buy your bubble wrap? I try to buy it like at least 150 feet or whatever for, I think, $17 on Amazon. I think it's also about $17 at Walmart, but still, like, if you have a lot of glassware, that will go by quick. So I have luck. I use plastic wrap, like saran wrap. I buy the generic kind, and I wrap it to kind of like protect it. And then I reuse like the poly mailers that I get from Amazon. I try to recycle. And then I use cardboard and like kind of make its own little box and then put it in a box. Or depending on what it is, if you put a box in a poly mailer and you ship it by cubic on Pirate Ship, it's quite a bit cheaper. Okay, so question. How much of a discount did you get working at Goodwill? Nothing. Honestly. I will say, so I first started working at Goodwill in 2007, I think. Yeah, long time ago. When I was in college, my mom actually took me there, and I had never, guys, so I used to garage sale like my whole life, but I had never actually been into Goodwill, like ever. So I went in there, and my mom knew the boss because she was a regular shopper, and that's how I got started, and I fell in love with it, and got amazing clothes, but they weren't necessarily following, like, the rules. They would put stuff, like, hold stuff back, and then they would like push a cart out and like have somebody come and buy stuff for them. So the rules were that you could not shop the days that you worked. You could only come in on the days you were off. So yeah, of course they broke the rules, and I think there's breaking rules. And so shortly after I left, I guess they fired almost everybody, which, you know, good practice. You kind of need to clean shop when they're not following the rules. So I did not get a discount. Now I will say, like, I'd be working in the back, and a family member came in, and I would take something out on the sales floor and be like, hey, will you buy this for me? Discreetly. And I couldn't actually hand it to them. You had to be really like sneaky about it. Like, I would go like put it on the shelf or put it on the rack, and they would watch me, and then they would go pick it up. But I always paid like regular price. I didn't like lower the price. It was always the normal price. So what other questions do you have? You get your bubble wrap on Amazon. You get 4 big rolls. When you mean big rolls, do you mean like 100 and some feet? Because if you buy it in increments of like, is it 30 feet or 70? I don't know. I'm guessing the more you buy, the cheaper it is. Sorry, something just like fell, and I'm waiting for a kid to cry. You hear a thud, and then you always wait for crying. Okay? I don't know. No crying. No noise. So yeah, the bubble wrap, the issue is bubble wrap takes up space. I work out of my house, as I'm sure a lot of you do too, because I have 3 little kids, and so I have moved a lot of my shipping material actually out to my garage, which is where I keep half of my inventory. It's also a photo studio. I have a photographer come and work 2 to 3 hours a week. So space is somewhat of an issue. I work in my kitchen, so that's also another reason why my kitchen is usually a mess, because I'm always like in transition to start working, and I have a pile of clothes, and it's probably not the most practical. Yeah, send the link on Instagram, or if you have a link for the bubble wrap, share it in the chat. That would be awesome. At Goodwill, were you able to separate things to later purchase? Yeah, I mean, you could, but then I came back. So that was when I first started, like, in 2007, I think. And they did change the rules. And then I became a supervisor probably the last year and a half I worked there. And so obviously, like, you are a role model, like, you follow the rules. And it was all about, and this was before I was a reseller, so it was about making, like, goals and making the most money. And something I guess that I liked was that Shop Goodwill. If you guys don't know, Goodwill has an auction website. So they send their best stuff typically to the website. And sometimes you can find great deals. I found a lot of rings. I can't remember how many rings were there. And I bought them. And I kept one and I sold the rest and made decent money because they didn't check very well the markings inside, and some were like vintage and stuff, so I made some money that way. But yeah, I mean, Goodwill is just like a whole other video. I still love going there, and a lot of the employees that worked there when I worked there, it's been 4 years since I worked there, they're still there. So that tells you something. And the manager of the store that I worked at, she's great. I really like her. She's an awesome boss. So $1 a yard. Is that good? I have no clue. I think I buy mine in feet, not yards, for bubble wrap. To work at the bins, can you imagine? I think I would have the hardest time because I don't know, like, if they can hold stuff back. It seems like a very much more so of like it's a very fast paced, and so I don't know that you could do that. So Purple Boutique says it's four rolls of 175 square feet for $40. Are you serious? That would last me like a whole year. Oh my gosh, because at one point I've been buying bubble wrap like once a month. Yeah. So do you guys prefer bubble wrap or the foam sheets? Because I think the foam sheets are supposed to be better for dishes, but I'm actually trying to stay clear of breakables. They just take time, and I had issues over the summer with items getting broke, and I feel like I wrap my items really well. So I don't know. But anyways, let's jump into a different topic, shall we? As you know, I sell on several other platforms, and let's see. I had talked a couple weeks ago, well, probably almost a month ago, about shoptrilling.com. I had like 5 or 6 sales the first week and made probably like $200. I was like, oh, this is sweet. Well, I probably had like 100 listings that went live like all at once. And so that's why, it's because I had 100 new listings. And so I've only been adding a few listings each week because I haven't been working much. And so my sales have been obviously slower, but I'm still making money. I think I made $60 last week. I had 2 sales, and they were both about $30. I will note that I think somebody on Instagram applied to sell on shoptrilling.com because you have to apply to sell on there. It's a vintage online website, and I think they said that they had 30 or 40 items in their eBay store or something. That was vintage. They didn't have like tons, and I don't think they were approved. So what I did when I applied is, I think I had mostly vintage, and I gave them my YouTube channel, social media, or my Instagram handle, my Etsy store. So I don't know if they like people to preferably have like an Etsy shop. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, I'm still learning, and I'm going to give it a couple more weeks. of selling on there before I post any videos because I want to be confident that I'm giving accurate information. They actually close the week between Christmas and to the New Year. And so, I'm not sure, but yeah, selling breakables, you need to become an expert in wrapping, and wrapping takes time. So figure that in with how much you're selling an item for. My husband would go to auctions and get tons of stuff for practically nothing. But even if I sold it for $10, the time it took me to wrap it would be like 10 minutes. Okay, is that really worth it? No. So, obviously he has been going to auctions recently, and I told him to no longer pick up stuff for me because, it just is not worth my time. I'm trying to raise my average sale price, which I have definitely done that. It used to be, how much did it used to be? I think it got down to like 25 or no, 18. I don't know. It was really bad. And so then, I started switching to mainly vintage. I was trying, so, okay, everybody needs to sell what they are good at. If you go on YouTube and Instagram, you see a bunch of people selling like Free People, like Lovers and Friends, Mother, like all of these good brands, right? But I don't find that stuff where I live. And so I was trying to sell like Banana Republic and J. Crew and Ann Taylor Loft and Maurice's and like all of these brands, and that return on investment just isn't there for me. My time is really valuable. Now when my children get older and I have more time, like more time to work, then I may change my business plan, but currently I need to make as much money per item as possible. So, oh, I didn't show you my tradition. So I went to Subway. I actually was going to cook tonight, and my husband had browned some ground turkey like a couple nights ago, and I got it out to start cooking supper with it, and it smelled funky. Do you guys, like, whenever you're questioning the meat, do you always like smell it and you're like, like, I'm not going to chance getting sick? So I tossed it in the trash, and I'm getting groceries tomorrow, so of course there's like no food in the house. So I ran a Subway. That was another reason why I'm kind of like running late, and I didn't type up notes, so I don't have a whole lot of information for you guys. But I figured this would be a shorter live. It has been almost an hour, guys. Holy cow. So, Dara Lynn, you haven't talked with me much on hard goods. What do you like to sell? Like, what do you... Patty. Patty, are you asking me if I have an eBay store? So, I do. I started an eBay store probably after selling on there for 3 months because, it becomes cheaper with the fees, and you get credit for shipping supplies through eBay. And my daughter is still awake. I can hear her up there crying. My husband's probably getting ready to pull his hair out. Oh my goodness. Yes, I have the, I can't remember. It's not the very bottom one. It's the one above it. Because I only have like 850 listings. I would like to build that up to like 2,000. But I'm doing good to like just keep my number above 800 right now. Because like I said, I'm not working a whole lot at the moment. But yes, if you are serious about eBay and you want to build up your store, yes, my eBay store is called Cargill Collection. If you look at my previous videos, I've been trying to be better about putting the name of my stores. I don't think I have the links, because I usually work on my phone and so I don't have links. But I have the name. Okay, so you saw the Japan items that are marked. I hardly ever find Starbucks mugs. Good for you. See, I was selling stuff like the vintage stuff from made in Japan and stuff, but I don't have, they were slow sales for me, so you must know what to look for, because I didn't have much luck with that. Oh, so Darlene, you said you needed, okay, so If you're not reading the live chat and you're watching this later, let's see. So, Darlene, you applied. Are you talking about you applied to shoptrilling.com? And they said you need at least 25 items that are vintage. So you'll have to wait. Okay. Yeah, so they told me that you need to have at least 25 listings on their store within the first 30 days of your Shop Thrilling store opening. But if you have an Etsy store, you'll be like assigned a regional representative, which is like your customer service person. And so it's nice that you deal with one person, one email. It becomes, I don't know, the communication is just very easy. And so you'll download your CSV file of like all your listings, and you email it to your person at shoptrilling.com, and they transfer your listings, including the price, and they simplify like the title and the description. And so, yeah, that's how I did it. So I don't know, if you guys have an Etsy store, it would probably be easier for you guys to get approved. But yeah, you probably want to build up your vintage a little bit. So, alright guys, I'm trying to think if there's anything I wanted to discuss with you. I was going to see if oh yeah, Etsy. Okay, so, Etsy. I started Etsy in January of 2020, and it was like super slow. I don't think I had a sale for like the first 3 months because I didn't have much stuff listed. And then I'm figuring out things slowly. And a couple weeks ago in a haul, I had bought in this, there goes the cat. I bought in this like 90s fiber optic wreath, Christmas wreath, and it still had the original box, and it was on sale actually, so I got it for $3.50. It wasn't my style, and so I sold it for $125 on Etsy, and then they paid another $40 to ship it, which it took all the $40 because it was large, and I believe it went to the West Coast. Yeah, I went to California. So, I was super happy with that sale. And then I also, if you guys ever see any old college sweatshirts or t-shirts or jackets, like coats, you should definitely look them up. Even if they are faded and have a hole or like a paint stain, they still sell. I had gotten a vintage University of Notre Dame sweatshirt, and it was probably like 80s, and sold it for $35 on Etsy. And then again, like the blankets with the satin trim always do well. I cannot imagine shipping a 42-piece dinner set. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Good for you. I don't have the patience to wrap stuff like that. And if I do, like, I think over the summer I got some Fiesta ware dishes and stuff, and I broke up the sets because I was like, I cannot imagine shipping that in one box. But alright guys, well, I'm going to wrap this up. My baby is still awake and I can hear her crying, so I'm going to go try to put her to sleep. But I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying the Christmas season. Honestly, I feel like super stressed because I am behind on my shopping. I think after this weekend I'll feel better once I get caught up. I haven't even wrapped anything yet, so my cats are destroying the basement as we speak. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't have anything else for you, but thank you so much for being active in the chat and sharing all your tips and tricks. I do appreciate it because, like I said, I love learning every single day. Okay. Alright. Well, I hope you guys have a safe and happy week. I will see you next Thursday. And before you leave, don't forget to like this video. Give me a thumbs up. I know there's some people here still with me. So I have 7 likes. Let's try to get more likes. And I appreciate every one of you. If you ever have any questions throughout the week, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. I check multiple times a day. So, have a thriftalicious day, guys.